Margot Silker, so fun to play songs with you, play these songs. You're
Yeah.
a good songwriter and singer and got
Oh.
good stories. And you're a
Well, thank you.
character.
Thanks for having me. This is fun. It's like stepping into my own YouTube search history. E-Town.
So let me ask you about your early days. So 5 generations in the same location. I was talking with Cedric about this place where his family is from and how
Yeah.
meaningful that was for him. So did it feel like that for you? Because it's probably everything had changed across 5 generations in this valley in California. It wasn't like it used to be.
Yeah, totally.
Did it
Well, I
feel-
don't live there in Silicon Valley.
No, but you used to.
Yeah, I was there until I was 18, and then I went to Clemson University in South Carolina to kind of purge the Silicon Valley upbringing.
But I'm imagining your family in California had been growing stuff. They must-
Actually, no, early on, yes.
Early on.
The OG Silker of this guy, John Silker. He's from Germany, and he married Jane Lipset from Donegal, Ireland, and they were the first couple to emigrate to the U.S. And they settled in Los Gatos, California, and they grew walnuts and like olives, and I think like wine grapes, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Generations after that, and then you got the heck out of there. Went to Clemson, and then were you like going to the football games and stuff like that? Were you a full Clemson student?
I drank the orange Kool-Aid for a bit, yeah. And it was awesome. I can recommend spending some time at least at an SEC school if you're looking for a good time.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah,
moved
it
north.
was. I thought it was a cultural phenomenon, these football games, in the way that, I mean, it was religious, and in fact, I grew up going to summer camp in North Carolina, and my mom went there too, and it's all because my grandmother ended up meeting the owner of the camp, like while their husbands were serving in the Air Force, and it's this long family connection, I guess. And when I was a camper, I remember going to like tennis class, and the tennis coach, this guy, David Vining, he was...
We're getting a little off track here.
No, but it's... Yeah,
Okay.
We're getting off piste. But this coach started the class by praying for the Clemson Tigers to win a football game.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, when I say I was,
Wow.
it stuck with me.
A religious
So-
experience,
No,
literally, yeah.
But that's, I mean, it draws back to, like, why I do art is, like, cultural observation and,
Yeah.
like...
And community, just much smaller community than the Clemson football games, yeah.
Yeah. You mean my shows? Yeah, I'm not selling out Death Valley quite yet. I'm not quite at 80,000, but I'll keep working towards it.
Sometimes awkward silence is kind of cool, actually.
I feel like I'm bombing a job interview right now, Nick.
No,
This is the plane going down.
You're doing great. Listen, Margot, I'm going to change the subject.
Thank you. It's getting hot in here.
I'm going to lob you a couple softballs here. You ready? Okay, here they come. So I want to ask you about when you were growing up and when you went to college. Did you already have a sense of music that you were drawn to and for example, songwriters that inspired you? And were you learning songs and writing songs as a teenager?
I was starting to write songs as soon as I was taught 2 chords on the guitar. So songwriting was like from the very first day of guitar class. Like they were one and the same, kind of. It came together. And so I thought that was, I don't know, I just took it and kind of ran with it. Yeah, but I was listening to a lot of like the folk revival, Joan Baez, Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan.
And were you analyzing the songs or learning the songs or just kind of getting a vibe from the songs?
I was learning them. I have a younger sister, and we would sing harmony together, so we could do the Simon and Garfunkel songs perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, not perfectly, but don't want to anger Nick with any more, hyperboles here, or God forbid I make a joke about a stadium.
Are we rambling again? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to lob you another softball. See how this one lands.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah. So, as you were writing songs, you obviously, when you went to college, you didn't bring your sister with you, so you had to find other people to make music with. Did you imagine yourself being in a band, or did you sort of think, I'm just going to be like the lonesome Paul Simon character who's just going to sort of sit in my room and write songs?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I didn't have a band when I was in Clemson. You just do what you're able to do. And I was pretty itinerant,
Yeah.
But when I was in 2015, I started playing with an English backing band. So my first tour, I guess it was my second tour actually, I flew to England and had this pickup band over there, and we did a tour of pubs in England. And so that was because I didn't know anyone that wanted to do that in the States. And I happened to meet this band of merry Englishmen on the streets of New York City. And they invited me, and I said yes. And I started playing with bands in that way. But it's kind of by necessity. And, you can't get the gigs. Like sometimes they'll tell you, like, we won't book you. You're just solo acoustic. We want a band. And it's like, well, okay, I guess I'll make a band. Because...
Yeah.
Like, for me, just getting the gig was the motivation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted the freaking gig.
Yeah.
That was the...
You wanted to work, just like Temple Grandin
I
encourages
just
you.
wanted to work,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you spend so long trying to get the job.
And then moving north to the Northwest to Oregon and then to Washington, what led you up there? Just the music community or?
I got married to my husband.
I see.
Yeah, and he was he was working as a mule packer in the Eagle Cap Wilderness of Eastern Oregon.
That's not a typical job.
In the Wallowas. It's not a typical job, but he's also a songwriter, and I really liked his songwriting.
Yeah.
And we got engaged 4 days after we met.
Wow.
And went on tour together, and we were celebrating 6 years this December.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
And so when you go out to play gigs and you leave him at the ranch at home, are there chores that somebody else has to cover for you?
Well, we don't have to take care of any livestock, luckily, except 2 horses, which are low maintenance. I mean, one of them's a Mustang, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. So, good luck out there.
The Mustang, I mean, it's great. The water will freeze at night, and we'll go out there in the morning, and the Mustang has punched through, and you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest, baby. It's great. It's a good feeling. You're like, that's right,
Yeah.
Pete.
And is your husband still an active songwriter?
He is, and he is releasing a new album in the spring.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you're going to have competing careers.
Well, it's kind of a symbiosis. He plays bass in my band.
Oh, there you go.
And so, he'll join me at some shows. He likes to tag on the shows in the Mountain West because, his subject matter really resonates with people that have worked horseback. And he loves Ian Tyson. He sings a lot of Ian Tyson songs.
Oh, that's cool. He was one of my big inspirations when I was just starting out.
Oh,
Ian and Sylvia.
amazing. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Darcy Farrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ian and Tyson. Ian and Sylvia and Ian Tyson as well.
Ian
Yeah.
was on E-Town a couple times too. Hey,
Wow.
so are you in the Portland music scene? I know you live a couple hours outside of town, but do you feel like you're connected to the Portland music scene at this point?
I am. My band is kind of, the studio band is kind of half Seattle, half Portland. So yeah, Jenny Conley, who played keys and all kinds of instruments, accordion, the Wurlitzer, she's in Portland. She plays in the Decemberists. So she's just a wonderful all-around guy. And then Caleb Clowder played on my new album.
Yeah. I just did some recording with Caleb and Reed a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Listen, you're in a very cool scene. It sounds like you live in a beautiful place. You're happily married. So many things are going well, it's almost sickening. But we know that there's good struggles ahead, and that's going to be good fodder for songs that you're going to write.
I'm working on writing again, and I actually just showed some of my new songs to someone, and he was like, the book Demon Copperhead? Yeah, oh no. So yeah, if anyone was worried that my songwriting was getting a little too light and breezy, just be prepared for what's coming.
Oh, well, I think it's really cool. I've really appreciated your visit and getting to know you a little bit and playing music. And we're going to do some more later on, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share with the E-Town audience before we turn you loose?
Was anyone there when I played the Laughing Goat 8 years ago? No, nobody? Okay.
What
Sounds
about the Velvet
right.
Elk?
That's a trick question. There are only 4 people there, and
Yeah.
it couldn't have been any of you.
Margot. Well, listen, I'm happy that you're making such steady progress. There's a bunch of people here to see you. So.
It does. It feels good. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming out.
Well, welcome. Let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, Margot Silker.